couldn't believe that she was gone.
Prosecutors in Cleveland, Ohio, have indicted a mother on murder charges after they say she left her 16-month-old child alone for 10 days.
Jailyn, she was a happy baby, always smiling, always curious about stuff. She was just a wonderful baby.
According to the Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office, 31-year-old Kristel Candelario left her baby home alone while she vacationed in Detroit and Puerto Rico. When she returned, Candelario found her 16-month-old daughter unresponsive and called the police.
There were so many people here. She could have knocked on any of our doors and asked us to take care of Jailyn, and we all would have.
Welcome back to Operation Evil. This is episode 97, titled Ohio Mom Leaves Toddler to Die. I'm your host, Nyoka.
I'm Rachel. Wow, what a title.
Yeah, straight to the point. To the point.
97. Wait, 97.
I know.
Yeah, we got 3 more to go.
We're getting there. And before we go into the story, thank you to Dee for coming on the last episode. Thank you, Rachel, for handling that and setting it up and telling the story. It was very good. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go back and listen to that one. Also, if you or anyone you know would like to come on the show to share their story, please reach out to us, and we would love to have you on. And then, other than that, sorry to do this to you guys again, but this is another horrific child neglect story. I don't know. I think I pick these because it just makes me so angry. And I'm like, how do people hurt kids? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think you need to get it out of your brain.
Yes. And they don't have a voice either. So,
right. But before we start too, though, did we mention our newest Patreon?
We did on the last episode, but you can, do it again. Yeah.
I totally forgot. We're talking about Melanie.
Yes.
And I think that was all. I think there was something I don't know.
If you think of
maybe
it,
I'll remember it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, why do you do this to us, Nyoka?
I know. I'm sorry. This case is pretty new, and it came across on I think on my true crime TikTok actually, and I was like, "What?" And then I had to research this story, and then I had to tell you guys about it. So
yeah, I feel like it's just a way for you to get it out of your head.
Yeah. So sorry for doing this over and over and over and over again. There's a few of these that I might get to because I keep coming across ones where people are trafficking their children for money.
Gosh.
And they're getting hurt in the process or killed. And I'm like, how do you traffic your child is beyond me. But this is not that. This is something else. So trigger warning. This is a story about the death of a 16-month-old baby girl. And every bit of it is disturbing. And that's the best warning I can give you. So
we're here with you.
All right, here we go. So this is a story about a little girl named Jailyn Candelario. I think that's how you pronounce it. Candelario.
That's a cool last name.
Yes. But her life was ended suddenly at the young age of 16 months old. She was a beautiful little girl. She had big brown eyes and tons of brown hair and a smile that could brighten up any room. I will post pictures of this little girl on Facebook and wait till you see her. Oh my gosh.
She already showed me a picture. She looks like a little doll.
She does. She is the cutest, or was the cutest little thing. So how did her life end is what we're going to talk about. Well, the person who brought this sweet little angel into the world took her out just as quickly as she came in. Her mother is Kristel Candelario of Cleveland, Ohio, and 31 years old at the time of this happening, decided that a vacation was more important than anything or anyone else. And this is what we know. So Kristel left baby girl Jailyn alone in her home on West 97th Street near Detroit Avenue on June 6, 2023, and didn't return until June 16th. So that's a total of 10 days that she was away. And where did she go? What was so important? A vacation to Puerto Rico. Yeah, so she left her toddler home alone in a pack and play to die slowly of starvation and dehydration while she went on vacation.
God, can you imagine that little? I would say that she's probably been done this way several times, but can you imagine that little girl like crying or
I was
what the
talking to my
hell?
mom about this, and she's like, she brought up another point that I didn't think of, like another aspect of it. She's like, can you imagine like it getting pitch black in the house and you're a baby, and then it's sunlight again, and then it's pitch black again. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, anyway, it
Well,
just
maybe the
painted.
dumbass left a TV on for her, maybe? Like,
I don't
yeah,
know.
I didn't even think about that. Like,
Yeah,
at that age, you have no concept of time.
no, no.
Who the
So
hell?
she returned home June 16th, 10 days. She was gone. And when she came home, she found her child unresponsive and called the police. I don't know
And
what she expected.
I'm guessing it's just her, like just her and the baby in this household.
I will get
Do
to
we
that,
know?
but so far that's what we see, what we know. But I will tell you more as we go on. But I
I'm
had to do a
eager.
lot of digging on this one to figure out like what's the dynamic here. Like, why does she do this? Who does this? So the Cleveland police and the fire members responded to the home, and Jailyn was pronounced deceased at the scene. Jailyn was found severely dehydrated, and she was in that playpen that was covered in urine and feces and soiled blankets. Now, according to court records, Kristel was charged with aggravated murder, felonious assault, and endangering children. The indictment stated that prosecutor Michael O'Malley's office may seek additional charges in the future that would make Kristel eligible for the death penalty. So I kind of like how they kept that open.
Yeah.
O'Malley said in a statement, quote, "It is unfathomable that a mother would leave her 16-month-old child alone without any supervision for 10 days to go on a vacation. As parents, we are supposed to protect and care for our children. Imagining this child's suffering during her last days of life alone is truly horrifying, and we will do everything in our power to seek justice on her behalf." End quote. Initially, Kristel pled not guilty to aggravated murder and the other charges in her child's death. She also did not speak during the brief hearing. She just stood between a public defender and a Spanish language interpreter. Assistant prosecutor Anna Bargolia told Judge Timothy McCormick that the crime was heinous and asked that he keep her jailed on a $1 million bond. And the judge agreed to this. Yeah. Now, Jailyn's remains were sent to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy and further examination. The medical examiner's results determined the child had been left alone and unattended for approximately 10 days and subsequently died. She died of severe dehydration and starvation. And it was noted that they didn't see any other trauma on her body. So it doesn't look like they beat her or anything like that. In the beginning of this year, though, Kristel changed her plea to guilty to 1 count of aggravated murder and 1 count of endangering the life of a child in the death of Jailyn. In exchange for this plea, the prosecutor's office dropped the additional charges that she was facing. Now, based on the charges that she pled guilty to, she does face a possible life sentence in prison on a murder charge and up to 12 years on the child endangerment charge. She will also face between 18 months and 3 years of probation if she's ever released from prison.
So is the death penalty off the table or no?
I mean, as far as it didn't say. I mean, in the beginning, it had it as an option.
So it
But
wasn't
since
really
she,
specified.
yeah, but since she took the plea deal, I don't know if that took that off the table, which usually it does. So,
It's just so aggravating. Like when they like, oh, I plead guilty to something that I did
mhm.
do, and then these charges are dropped when there's no mercy on the person, like on this little girl. Like, why should charges be dropped?
I know it's
I'll
so
never
aggravating
understand.
because
Yeah,
I'm like, eye for an eye. Let's throw her in this little ass
yeah,
room with nothing for 10 days and watch her die slowly. Yeah.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, I mean, and
it's
like
so
the
aggravating.
reasoning, I mean, you've heard of mothers where they have no choice and maybe they have to leave their young child at home alone while they're at work or
Hmm.
maybe going to the grocery store or something like that. I mean, if it was for the reason to go to work for like a couple of hours, I could try to wrap my mind around that. But for 10 days, like,
And 16 months old. This is a
right.
baby still. A
And you're gonna,
baby.
and charges are dropped. I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know. Now, unfortunately, this case is still ongoing. So we don't have like her final sentencing yet. She is scheduled to be sentenced on March 18th. So I will mark this on my calendar and keep an eye on it and give you an update as soon as her sentencing happens, which I'm really hoping she gets life in prison with
Hmm.
no parole. That's what I would love to see. But we just don't know yet. But it's right around the corner. I mean, we're a couple weeks away from her sentencing.
Yeah.
Now, County Prosecutor O'Malley said this statement following the plea hearing. He said, quote, "This case is one of those truly unimaginable cases that will stick with me for many years to come. As prosecutors, it is our job to represent the victims, and today we spoke on behalf of 16-month-old Jailyn, who is no longer with us due to the selfish decisions her mother made. This conviction today is the first step towards justice for Jailyn," end quote. Now, Kristel's attorneys, Derek Smith and Patrick Milligan, decided to go into details. I'm sorry, declined to go into details about the plea, according to Cleveland.com. However, Patrick Milliken did say, quote, "This is a real emotional day for our client. She has taken responsibility for what she did, and she is remorseful," end quote. I'm sorry, he's got more quotes going on. There will be mitigating issues that come up at sentencing, oh my God, that we will address. Hopefully, people will realize that she is not the monster that some see her as. End quote.
Bullshit. Bull- That sounds like a bunch of bullshit. An emotional day for you. Like,
Right?
you're definitely, she's a monster.
She is a monster.
Who the hell does that?
Yeah. Well, now that I told you like all there is to know as far as like court and what the attorney said, I'm gonna make you angry like you're not already, but I'm gonna make you
More, you're gonna make us more angry.
more angry. Okay, so when Kristel was in Puerto Rico, she shared photos of herself enjoying a Caribbean beach vacation 3 days into her trip. She was smiling on the beach and wrote a caption that said, quote, "The time that is enjoyed is the true time lived," end quote. It is literally on her Facebook. Like you
Wow.
can look it up. So here she is posting pictures of her on the beach having the time of her life. Meanwhile, her baby girl is dying or could be dead already and laying in her own filth alone. But we're supposed to think of her as something other than a monster?
For real.
No, she's a monster. And these pictures will be posted as well. So, and that wasn't the only picture she posted. There was a couple from her vacation. So I just don't understand how someone can have the time of their life while their daughter is slowly losing hers. I don't know. It's just gross. So why would someone do this? Her defense attorney said that she suffered from mental health issues. So defense attorney Derek Smith says, quote, "Unfortunately, there is a mental health issue to this case."
Oh, sure. I'm sure there is.
Yeah. He also said that this was the first time that Kristel um, left Jailyn alone. And I'm sorry, this was the first time that Kristel was left alone to take care of Jailyn. And it played a heavy role on her mentally. And he
Oh
explained that,
my God.
mhm. He explained that she relied heavily on her parents to help her look after her two children. Yeah, she has two
She
children.
has two? Like, what's wrong with her? What's her mental
She didn't say,
disabilities?
just mental health issues. So, yeah. The oldest daughter, Amaya, was with her grandparents in Ecuador when Kristel left Jailyn home alone to die. So I guess that child got lucky. And
Hmm. I
yeah,
wonder if she even has custody of that child.
which I will also. You ask good questions. Yep,
Man.
you do. And Smith also said that her family, they think they failed Jailyn and Kristel. They are devastated. They wish they would have been able to see some of the signs of her struggle. It could have helped save two lives. Unfortunately, it is not an easy diagnosis. It is not something that can be easily recognized from the outside. You don't know what a person is dealing with internally. Smith says that Kristel's depression clouded her judgment. He stated that depression can make you do things you normally wouldn't do, and unfortunately, it caused a lot of problems for her, and now her daughter is not with us anymore.
Yeah, depression can make you totally go on a vacation. Like, that's what I do.
19 News asked if the mother reached out to any family or friends to babysit, but her attorney said that he couldn't share that information. He did say, quote, "When you are in that depressive mode, you feel like no one is there. You feel like you can't count on anybody," end quote. But, but I did
This
find another article answering some of these questions and concerns that her attorney was not speaking on. An
mm,
acquaintance told News 5 Cleveland, quote, "We kept telling her not to leave her by herself. Not just me, my friend across the street too, but she always left her by herself." End
boom.
quote.
Knew it.
Mm-hmm. Another female neighbor told CNN that Jailyn was always a happy baby and was always smiling. The neighbor's daughter said that there were plenty of people around to have watched the baby, saying, quote, she could have knocked on any of our doors and asked us to take care of Jailyn, and we would have, end quote. The teenage neighbor also told CNN, when they told us the state they found her in, I was just heartbroken. Another neighbor, a 13-year-old, shared their feelings and said, quote, Jailyn really didn't deserve what happened to her. She was amazing and really adorable, and I miss her a lot, end quote.
Oh,
Additionally, I want to add that according to officials with Children and Family Services, there's no record of any previous cases involving Kristel. Just so you know. Now, I got some juicy stuff, but it's not from a reliable source per se, because they say don't look at certain sites, when you're writing papers and you're doing these things. But
yeah.
I was just digging for answers. Like I needed to know more. So everything I'm about to tell you is all allegedly, okay? Allegedly.
In big capital letters.
Allegedly. So this is Kristel's life, allegedly. I cannot stress this enough. All right. So Kristel was born on September 11th, 1991 in Ecuador and moved to the U.S. after completing her education. She was allegedly married to a truck driver who often traveled for work, and she had 2 daughters. Her oldest daughter was not living with them. She lived with her paternal grandmother, who had custody of her, allegedly. Okay. Allegedly, and I'm just saying this over and over again.
Allegedly.
She told her husband, who was working out of town, that she was going to visit her sister in Detroit for a few days. But instead, she ran off with another man to vacation in Puerto Rico. She did not check on Jailyn. She did not arrange any childcare before she left. And she did not answer her phone messages or calls from her worried husband or neighbors when she was away, allegedly.
So allegedly, do we know, did she tell the husband that someone was taking care of the baby?
Don't know. Now, Kristel worked as a Spanish teacher at several schools before taking on a role of a family resource specialist at the Cleveland Metropolitan School District.
Are you kidding me?
It's always that way, isn't it? I don't know why it always is. However, she was fired after her arrest. Now, allegedly,
I would want somebody like that to take care of my child.
Allegedly, when the first responders came to the home, Jailyn had no signs of trauma, but her body was covered in rashes and sores. And on top of what we already know about what happened to Jailyn, her whole environment outside of the soiled playpen was also in disarray, with trash and dirty dishes and just clothes everywhere.
So she was probably never bathed or anything like that.
It just sounds like a really dirty house in general.
Yeah.
Allegedly, of course. Jailyn's suffering would have been something like this. Now imagine no food, no water, and no human contact, which is so important for a baby. And when she cried, no one came to console her. No one came to love on her, to cuddle her. She would develop rashes and sores from laying on her soiled playpen. Her little body would eventually give up and her organs would fail, but not before possible infections took over her eyes and mouth, because she was in her own filth. And it hurts my heart to know that she went through all of this alone. Now, Jailyn's funeral was held on June 23rd, 2023, and she was buried at the Riverside Cemetery in Cleveland, Ohio. And although we may never really know why Kristel didn't do better for Jailyn, get her care, a sitter, not leave. I mean, anything other than the choice that she did make. I think it's time to remember that every child deserves to feel safe, which is why I wanted to cover this story.
Yeah.
So, in memory of Jailyn, let's make sure that we speak up whenever we see something wrong. If you're not sure on who to report possible child abuse or neglect, please call 911 if you're in America. Call your local police department. For Kentucky, our local people, there is a number you can call. It's 1-877 KY Safe 1, which is 1-877-597-2331. And that's so you can report any child abuse. I just think that if ever you even question it, I mean, what's it going to hurt to report it? It could save a life. So, in memory of Jailyn, let's just keep that in the back of our minds. And remember, we're approaching the season of where people are leaving their babies in the car when it's hot with the windows up. Call for help when you see that. I mean, let's just be a voice for those who are voiceless. So that's it. That will do it for today's episode. I'm sorry, baby Jailyn. You were failed by everyone. Yeah.
Incredibly sad.
Yeah. So if you can't get enough of Operation Evil, consider supporting the podcast by joining our Patreon. There are many perks and different tiers to choose from. Our Patreon episode will be coming out this week, towards the end of the week, but before the end of the month. Rachel will be doing that for us. Also, if you can't be a Patreon member, that's cool. You can support us for free by sharing our Facebook page and rating us. We read some reviews that, I don't know, we just never looked up before, and they were really nice. So thank you guys for those who did leave really nice messages about the show. We appreciate and we love each and every one of you. But until next time, goodbye.
Bye.